Are you ready for the deep dive into the evolution of the emotional solar plexus? We're in a time of incredible transformation in the emotional awareness center based in human design, but you can see it everywhere. So we are currently in the cross of planning. We're on the cusp. So within the next couple of years, we're going to be moving to the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So if you know human design, you know that we're moving from tribal agreements, logic, to an individual self-expression and spiritual intimacy. In human design, we also call this the time of awakening into the era of the individual. You can see that in the cross of planning, there is no individual circuitry at all. So during this shift, lots of things are going to happen to the human design chart. Another aspect that is going to happen is we're evolving in the solar plexus. So this evolution is going to happen here in the gate 55. So according to Rahu, that's the founder of human design, and there are many other people that see this evolutionary stage, many mystics, many spiritual teachers, including Richard Rudd, who is the founder of the Gene Keys. They're showing that there is a solar plexus mutation, which has to do with the EQ, the emotional intelligence of humanity. So let me break it down for you. There are three awareness centers: the ajna, which is the mind here, the mental awareness, the spleen, which is the intuitive instinct. This is also the system for the immune system health. And then we have the evolution of the emotional solar plexus, because this is moving from a motor to an awareness center. So the spleen is more of the survival awareness. You're walking down the road, you see a snake, and you immediately jump out of the way, and you have a deep intuitive awareness naturally to survive. Now, the mind is the place where we have been evolving since 1781. We have been moving to a nine-centered being, and we've been moving to the mind as the place that lifted us up from being cavemen to the advanced human society that we see now, with the banks, the roads, the government. I'm not saying it's perfect, but we have evolved. We've learned to fly. We have cars. We can travel across the world. The mind has evolved us to a certain level. But what human design is saying is that the mind has reached its peak. Now, many spiritual teachers agree with this. They say that the mind is now this place of toxicity, this place where the mind is actually now hindering the evolution. And until we can realize that the problem is not out there, the other, the problem is the toxicity of the thought process in the mind. This is shown in the biology of belief. It is shown in the Joe Dispenza work. It's shown many of the spiritual teachings that when we evolve our thinking, we can heal our bodies, we can transform our realities, and we can live in a consciousness that moves really from the 3D to the 5D, a higher existence on the earth plane. So many spiritual teachers are talking about this, but what they aren't talking about is this evolution that's happening here in the emotional solar plexus. So the emotional solar plexus is where all of the feelings are, all of the emotions. It is right now technically more of a motor. The sacral is a motor, the root is a motor, and the ego is a motor. And that is where the energy of sexuality, of work, of life force energy is held. And the emotions used to be more of a drive and a motor rather than an awareness center. So I want to talk you through what it means to have the emotions evolving into awareness center. So let's go back to the new octave. This is the new chart that Ra is saying is going to happen come 2027. I know it's shocking. If you know human design, this is outrageous. There's a break between the 1949, and this has to do with our tribal need to know God, our tribal need to prepare the tribe for the needs of the group. There's going to be a break here. This is going to transform how we think about God, the tribal God. It's going to transform how we are with our intimacy and how we are with our sensitivity. It's going to transform the relationship with the animals. This is a deep transformation that is going to happen right here in the 1949. And the 49 is going to be merging with that gate 55, where all the magic is going to happen. The magic of the transformation is a spiritual awakening that is going to happen. This is the gate of spirit. It is an emotional transformation that is going to happen amongst all of humanity. The way I see this unfolding begins with the emotional individual expression of spiritual abundance, how we make money. Now, if you remember in the cross of planning, the 4037, this is all about the bargain of the tribe, how the tribal agreements around work and money are formed and made. You do this for me, I'll do that for you. You work 9 to 5, I'll give you this paycheck. You have a tribal arrangement to provide for your family. And while you're providing for your family, while you're doing this amount of work, you can fit into society because this is the tribal way. This is what we do. All of that is going away. Also in the 4037 is the original agreement, or the original tribal agreement around marriage. So it was where the dowry was originated. Here's the wife, here's what she's worth, here's what you're going to trade her for. And that has actually, we've seen this in modern society where women will only marry someone based on how much money they have or what they can provide or how they can support the woman or support the family. So that's the old way. The new way is emotional abundance and individual spiritual expression being the impetus for the financial expression and gain of the work. So that means that you need to be having your emotional, spiritual abundance, which is the truth of what we are. We live in an abundant world. And that when you are true to your emotional intelligence, what feels right for you, you will be led to the right work, the work that is more of an individual expression of your truth, not the tribal arrangement, not the tribal agreement. Now, this is going to trigger a lot of people. It is going to trigger both the undefined and defined emotional beings. Both are going to feel the depth and the impact of this emotional turmoil, this emotional wave. So if you are undefined here, when people are in upheaval around this transformation, the undefined is going to absorb and amplify as well as distort that emotional energy. So if you're undefined, you have to get really good, the mastery of not letting the emotional wave take you over or derail you or throw you off from your journey. And then when you are emotional, there's an EQ here that's developing. So the evolution of the emotional solar plexus to awareness center means that you have to get emotionally intelligent. You have to be able to feel all of your emotions and articulate the way in which you're feeling in a positive, mature way. This means you can't be pushing things down and then blowing up. You can't be reacting. You can't be hanging up on people because you're angry and cutting people off. You have to be able to feel and take on the intensity of the energy, process it, leave the room, go into nature, emote, meditate, and then communicate how you're feeling with a care and with an emotional intelligence to not hurt the other person and to provide the information without the emotional charge. So everybody's going to be feeling the rising up of emotional intensity, particularly around this tribal agreement of work and this evolutionary stage of becoming that we are in. And then each type is going to deal with it differently. If you're undefined, you're going to have to really understand letting the emotions run through you, getting really stable and centered. Obviously, you feel emotions, but a lot of them are not yours. So you need to decide or not decide, but you need to get really clear on being able to process, what is other people's emotions so you don't think they are yours and take them on. And so everybody has a part and a role to play during this stage of evolution and during this time when we're moving into the new octave and we're moving into the new raves and we're having this transformation happening within us. It is a very profound time, and I know you're feeling it now because there's a lot of emotional upheaval on the planet, and you're probably feeling it right in your own home, regardless of whether you have children or whether you have aging parents or whether you're just having an evolution in your work life. Um, People are feeling it. It is present. So I would love to hear, are you defined? Are you undefined? What have you been noticing around the tribal agreements around money and the emotional evolution, the emotional intelligence? What are you experiencing? Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it. It's a profound time to be alive and to be here during this transformation. And I'm here to hold, to support, to lead, guide, direct the transformation, the evolution, and the new era. If you haven't tried our new era codex, I will put a link in the description below. We are opening the door to our new program, which is holding the space for this evolution in business, in your human design, and in your finances to help people find their way in this new time. So if you're curious, grab the New Era Codex and let's go deeper into this transformation together.